What's up, everybody? Andrew Mahone here with Tricky Jim at Full Grip Games. Going to be playing a game on PTC Geo today, and today I have got Pablo Meza's top 4 Pikachu deck from the Collinsville Regional Championships. This deck is a lot of fun to play. I've been digging it on stream lately, so if you've been checking those out, I've been running games with this deck, and I think it's just a blast. It has a lot of different options. It plays Jolteon, you got Zapdos, Pikachu, of course, Tapu Koko-GX, Zeraora-GX. You really got the whole squad here as far as the lightning Pokemon go. And then, of course, Jirachi to boost your consistency as well. So a ton of different options in this deck. I think it's very versatile and definitely a meta game mainstay in this standard format. So going to roll a couple games here, see how it does on camera for y'all. It's been doing well on stream. Definitely a powerful deck. I like that it has the big Pikachu and Zekrom in there so that you can KO things like Zork, which are typically problems for your Zapdos decks, right? But you do still have Zapdos to deal with smaller threats if you're playing against Malamar decks, to pick off Zeruas, to pick off opposing Zapdoses, right? It's definitely a strong card to have at your disposal. So I like that Pablo opted to play a little bit of everybody in this list. And case in point, we're playing against Lost March here, so the Zapdoses are going to put in a lot of mileage in this matchup. We can easily just, I think we're going to pop into a Jirachi here, turn 1, escape rope into it, and then I shouldn't need these Electro powers throughout the course of the game, so I can just Ultra Ball that away, get myself Zapdos and Lillie for a ton. Lost March is a deck that unfortunately has just not been able to find its footing in standard format. I mean, it's a deck that just seems to have so much promise, right? I mean, it's theoretically so strong, can hit these huge one-hit KO numbers, but then when it actually comes down to performing, it just struggles to do what it sets out to do every game. So that's just the way that it is. The consistency gets in the way sometimes of this deck from really popping off and doing what we all know it's capable of doing, right? So we've got a couple Jirachis of Zapdos here, and if you didn't know any better, you'd think that I was playing a Zapdos deck, which is one of the cool things about this list altogether. Zapdos plays perfectly against Lost March, allowing us to take one-hit KOs on everything on their side of the board, and then eventually we would like to transition to a Tag Bolt GX. And actually, the more that I think about it, Tag Bolt is better off earlier rather than later in this matchup because we want to be able to Tag Bolt before they can ramp up enough damage in order to knock out a Pikachu and Zekrom in one hit. Jolteon-GX, also a great card against this deck as well. Hits for weakness with that Electro Bullet attack and can weaken up things on your opponent's side of the field as well. Swift Run GX, also very good. So this game we may end up going for more of a Jolteon-GX Zapdos strategy and then try to finish things off with maybe a bigger Pokemon at the end of the game. Straight Zapdos does fare a little bit better against Lost March than these more GX-focused Zapdos lists, but I still think it should be a great matchup for us altogether just because we are a faster deck and more consistent in a lot of ways, especially being able to attack with Zapdos. Just one energy taking prizes as soon as turn 1, or in our case, since we went first, turn 2. Looking like a Volkner hand here, I will gladly just go and get myself a copy of Escape Board here to get myself free retreat throughout the course of the game and just thin the deck one more by grabbing a Lightning Energy. We can also play that Viridian Forest, though that might help my opponent more than I care to, so I'm probably not going to do that. Not really anybody that I want to get out into play here. I guess I can just start to power up this Pikachu and Zekrom, though I said that I kind of didn't want to. I think it's probably fine. They don't have like a super explosive start here, so we're probably safe to do this. And I guess with, yeah, we got the Escape Board. That's cool. We got the Viridian Forest. I could discard a Lightning Energy that way. I think I'm just going to manually start powering up this Pikachu on the bench, take a knockout with the Zapdos, and then next turn I might transition into the full blitz strategy, assuming that we see that my opponent can't take a 240 hit point turn, right? If they can't do 240 damage, we're cool, right? And we can do that. They've only got 2 Hoppips in play, though, so that means at most they're sending 4 Pokemon to the Lost Zone with Floral Path to the sky, which is cool. So they'll send 4, they'll have 5, that's 100. They still need a few more even just to knock out this Zapdos in the active, but I'm assuming they'll probably be able to get there. And I decided to hold off that Viridian Forest because I don't want to give them free search for their grass energy, which could be tough, right? We want to make it harder for them to get the combo they need to knock out the Zapdos in the first place. They do have back-to-back skip blooms, though, so they are going to go up to 5 Pokemon down. And, I mean, this is like the best part about the deck, right? Is just being able to send skip blooms and Hoppips to the Lost Zone with that ability. Get your Stage 2 Pokemon out into play easily. Then, of course, the worst part about the deck is that sometimes you miss energy. Sometimes you have trouble ramping your numbers, right? Unfortunately, you can't really compare Lost March to Night March, right? I mean, you would think that the decks are similar. We saw Night March just win the Toronto Regional Championships, right? Very strong deck. The differences between the decks are that in Night March, you can just battle compressor away all the stuff you don't want to see, right? It's just so much more consistent because instead of having to have cards in your hand and basically Lost Blender them away, you can just draw into a single card which pitches 3 away. So even though the damage output is something that can be, I guess, messed around with, your opponent can play Karen, your opponent can use Oricorio, right? There are a bunch of different ways your opponent can mess with the Pokemon in your discard pile. They can even use Girafarig, right, to send Pokemon or things from your discard pile to the Lost Zone. It's still much more consistent to play Night March because it's just so much easier to obtain Pokemon in the discard pile than it is to get them into the Lost Zone, even though there are all these different ways to get them into the Lost Zone that this deck kind of showcases. So we got let loose there. I can full blitz coming up, but my opponent does have, what, 7 Pokemon? 6? Math is hard. 6 Pokemon in the Lost Zone now. That's probably fine. Don't necessarily want to put this Lele down. I think that we're cool on that. So let's just Stellar Wish, see what we get first. And we do have a Lillie and a Guzma. I think Lillie is good. I just want to draw more cards without putting my Lele on the field. So I'll do that. I got Lightning in the discard pile, so I can use my Koko Prism Star if I want to. And we'll Ultra Ball away these guys. Grab probably just another Zapdos. Let's see if... Yeah, I don't necessarily want to put Jolteon into play at this point unless I'm using the GX attack. So I'm thinking we'll just grab Zapdos, attach our energy to probably the Pikachu and Zekrom, Electropower, and Lillie. Thinking that if I decide to go and, attack with Zapdos this turn, I could have always danced the Ancients there to do that. Did get a second Pikachu and Zekrom. So here is the tough part of the whole deal where we decide if we're going to go all in on Pikachu and Zekrom or if I try to switch between 2 different ones. I could always force my opponent to knock 2 different ones out. I think I do want to attack with Pikachu and Zekrom. He's on the field now. I mean, there's no taking that back, so he's ready to go. And then do we full blitz to a separate Pikachu and Zekrom or ourselves? I'm feeling we just do it, ourselves here. We only got 6. My opponent's only halfway there. They need to draw a ton of cards in order to knock out this Pikachu and Zekrom. So I'm thinking that we just go all in here and try to trade 3 for 3, which will benefit me in the long run if I'm able to pull it off since I am ahead in prizes, and I could just kind of keep that lead by trading 3 for 3. So I pretty much set myself up to win this game so long as my opponent does not get the one-hit KO on this Pikarom here, which is asking a lot. I mean, they could get 2 guaranteed with this one Hop-Hip on their bench, but then they'd only be at 8. They need to get to 11, right? So they would still need 3 more in the Lost Zone. They'd have to hit a Lost Blender for 2, as well as this, as well as a Trumbeak, as well as a Grass Energy, I think. So they have 8 down now. 3 more they need. And we're going to hope that they just can't quite get there. There's the Grass Energy. They need a big combo here to set this off. They've already Nuzzly Gathering. So they're going to instruct for 1. It's a Lillie for 4. They need a Lost Blender, double Pokemon, and a Trumbeak to get it. There's a Natu. And that's just a lot. In a deck like Night March, I mean, you just might Lillie for 4, grab a Battle Compressor, and that's knockout, right? Whereas in this deck, you need to hit a much bigger combo to get those pieces. And you can see my opponent's not even at enough damage to knock out a Zeraora-GX, which is just really tough, right? So we here can knock out Jump Bluff and anybody else we want on my opponent's side of the field. I think we just go double Jump Bluff probably and continue forward. So I actually like keeping the Thunder Mountain Prism Star. For the most part, I kind of just want to play my hand down and draw more cards so that I could attack with a different Pokemon later in the game. So let's do that. Let's just escape. No, I want to knock out both Jump Bluffs. So let's just put the Choice Band down. I don't want to put, we'll put that down, put that down. Just want to see some more cards here without putting down another Pikarom. There's Eevee. It's kind of who I wanted to see because Eevee's going to be a good attacker later in the game. And we'll just Tag Bolt GX, take out both those Jump Bluffs, go to 2 prizes remaining. So even though my opponent is going to take 3, Zekrom took 3. So he trades evenly. It's all we needed him to do. Good job, Ryan Reynolds. Did a great job there, Pikarom. Cool. So we've got our escape board. And a little bit sketchy. We have one more prize mapped out, right, with our Zapdos, but we need to find a way to get uno mas, which means we just need to draw a little bit more cards. Jirachi should help us here. For sure, for sure. So we'll gladly do that. The energy definitely helpful too. So let's see what we get off the Stellar Wish. I don't want to evolve the, let's see, energy switch. Is that Thunder Mountain? Ooh, yes. Thunder Mountain is still in play, so that's good. We could just easily go energy switch off the Zapdos onto an Eevee so that we have that Jolteon ready to go for game next turn. I want to put all the escape boards and everything just down so that we have it. And let's just Thunder Assault for knockout. And we should just be in the clear here with this hand. I mean, granted, they could let loose me again, but then I got double Jirachi to kind of figure this game out here. The Eevee, a Lightning Energy gets me Jolteon for game on whatever my opponent decides to put active. And we should just be good to go. So we kind of got to see a little bit of everybody in this match. Pikarom putting in some work. Zapdos putting in some work. And then Jolteon, great for finishing games off as well. It's just like another efficient Pokemon that doesn't take 3 energy to attack. So someone that you can depend on to take those final prizes when the game is really coming down to the wire. You know, the thing about Eevee is it always gets targeted down. It really does. Which is totally fine, though. Unless my opponent's got a counter stadium, then I guess they'll let loose me. Looking for a counter stadium, perhaps, and they can't field blower. But either way, we've got an escape rope and a Zapdos and a Lightning Energy, so there's no way they're getting me out of the win here. We just have it. And a close one, but alas, Lost March falling a little bit short. There's just a way to get Lost March to just get those Pokemon in the Lost Zone a little bit faster, honestly, which is crazy because it already happens so fast, right? Usually doing over 200 damage by turn 3 or 4, but other decks can just ramp a little bit faster than that, which is unfortunate for a Lost March. There's not one thing that it does better than every other deck. which just keeps it in kind of this solid tier 2, tier 3 realm right now. We'll go one more game with Pablorom, see how we do here. Just beat Lost March, pretty solid. And maybe we get paired against a bigger GX heavy deck here. Got our nice win streak of 1. Very cool Charizard coin there. Digging it. And we get to go first. Busted. So we'll see what we got here. Hopefully a big Lillie hand. That'd be nice. Or, yep, actually we do. Because we got Ultra Ball for Lele. We can definitely make this hand work here. I really like the switches in this list as well. Helps speed up the deck. You don't have to depend on Thunderclap Zone to retreat. Every single time you can just get the Jirachis in and out of the active position with ease using Switch. So I do dig that for sure. Let's grab ourselves one of those Jirachis. Speaking of it, and then we'll Ultra Ball away probably the Choice Band and the Lightning Energy. Grab ourselves a Lele for Lillie and attach the Lightning to the active. We can switch. I guess don't need to switch. I could just manually retreat, save the switch. It's kind of cool. If I draw into another copy of Jirachi, then I could switch there, right? So I'll just Lillie for 6, save the switch since I don't need to use it. That's cool. We can, yep, retreat Jirachi. Let's see if we get ourselves another Nest Ball or something like that. Ultra Ball will do. Fine with it. And that way I can just grab my second one. Let's do Ultra Ball away. Probably Absol. I'm not exactly sure what my opponent is playing, but I feel like I don't need the Absol here. Ultra Ball that. Get myself a second one. And then I will switch and attach the Escape Board next turn once I can confirm that it's going to live through the turn. Boom. Let's get it. Viridian Forest, Lillie, Erika's all very good. I guess grabbing the Erika's is kind of tough because I don't know how many Pokemon they're going to put down. But Lillie also seems kind of underwhelming after turn 1, though I can't play almost all these cards. So I think, ooh, Viridian also good. I think we probably just go with the Lillie here. We'll go Erika's. That's fine. And then we're all ready to go for next turn. I could pretty easily get myself a turn 2 full blitz here, just dropping the Pikarom out of nowhere. Something I really like about this list too. You could just drop that Pikarom into play, and you have a bunch of switch cards, retreating cards, things like that to help get a powerful full blitz going. Apparently we're playing against some sort of Trollmeister deck over here. All right, what kind of depths of the PTCGO Shadow Realm are we in when we're playing against Durant? Not gonna lie, I was on my account the other night trying to see about if the theory that I had was true, where you put a new card into your deck and then do you start that card. I don't think it's true. I think that it probably is just my own memory, just recalling the times that when I did put new cards into my deck, I did start them. I have tried to test it in a controlled environment, and I was not able to replicate it. So I don't know why I think that this is the case. It probably is just me remembering it. But anyways, it involved me scooping probably 10 or 12 games the other night. So that was Mountain Munch. What is this? Okay, Trollmeister. What you got going on over here? Okay, so I'm thinking, sure, we're just going to Stellar Wish here. Electropowers are not needed, but they are burnable cards, which is cool. So I could throw those down. Uno, dos. We got Escape Boards. We've got Thunder Mountain Prism Star. We got Pikarom. We can Erika's for 3. Not exactly great, but I can get myself the Prism Star with those energies in the discard pile now, and that should allow me to full blitz, which is muy bien. So there we go, boom. Let's get him, Koko Prism Star. Fortunately, I don't know if Mill is a super viable strategy in this standard format. A lot of the decks are just a little too aggressive. You would have to be playing something like Shedinja in order to keep your opponent from taking prizes, and then also you would have to just have ways to, just keep your opponent from having all this energy on them, right? Which is really tough because a lot of decks in format just ramp a ton of energy. Got Malamar ramps a ton of energy. Pikarom ramps a ton of energy. Blacephalon can even, just ramp a lot of energy as well. So we'll see how maybe there's something I'm missing here. I mean, it just seems like Thunderclap Zone is really tough for a deck like this. It seems that also, Thunderclap Zone is really bad. Switch is really bad. A lot of decks are just playing a lot of Switch, so you can't even counter catcher up something and stall it out. I mean, here's regular Pokemon catcher. Honestly, I think probably we'd be better off as a counter catcher, but to each their own. We've got somehow only 2 cards in hand. I don't. Did I play my entire hand down just to? Yeah, I probably did. It's all good though. We've got Escape Rope and Thunder Mountain Prism Star, so I'm going to be using Tag Bolt for 2 prizes this next turn. And if I can just find myself a Lightning Energy, I'll have free retreat on whoever I want. They are really churning through this deck though. Multiple Pokemon catchers, water energies. I mean, who knows what they got going on here. Multiple Orangaroos. They're probably going to deck themselves just as fast as I get. Oh, this is the man right here. All right. I do see what my opponent's trying to do now. The Slowking is very cool. He does something. I forget what it is, but he does something very trolly. Very trolly. So we do have to watch out for that Slowking. The thing about that Slowpoke is he's not going to live through the turn. I am definitely going to go and Guzma that thing up and just knock it out. Oh, discard any stadium card. That's insane. Okay, too bad for you. We have got what we need in order to take these knockouts here. So we're just going to go, I don't know, boom. And we've got Escape Rope too. I should have put the Jirachi active. It's cool. I'm just trying to end this guy as quickly as possible. Every time you Guzma, you definitely want to go into the Jirachi with the Escape Board. So kids, don't forget that at home. It's all good though. We'll be totally fine. We can Escape Rope and do it next turn. And we'll probably be Gucci. We got ourselves Volkner, never punished. We can grab ourselves Lightning Energy to retreat. Should my opponent have to, or actually hit a catcher again, this would be way better as a custom. I mean, they're never going to be ahead on prizes. So that should definitely just be like counter catchers for sure. I say custom catchers. And lo and behold, they do play the Nincada. Okay, so they play the Shedinja, which I was talking about this deck needing in order to stay afloat and actually get a successful mill going. I definitely need these guys so that I'm not taking any prizes. That's a big deal as well. Sure enough, there is the Shedinja going into my opponent's hand before they Lillie for some more cards. Okay, I see what you got going on here. I mean, it's not a bad mill card. Discard 2 cards is pretty significant, right? And if you hit some crucial resources, it can definitely be very powerful. My opponent's going to be a little bit salty that I just, keep top decking these switch cards for sure. I think I saved the Escape Rope and the Guzma and all that just for when my opponent actually. Let's grab Volkner. Or I guess, yeah, we'll grab this and an energy switch so that I can just send that energy around to my, other Pokemon, give them free retreat. It's probably the the worst part about this deck is that I can just use Thunderclap Zone to retreat all these. No, I don't want another energy. No. To retreat all these Pokemon for free. And I only need to survive 2 more turns. 2 more turns means that my opponent, might Mountain Munch for 4, 5, 6 cards. I have plenty of cards left in deck to make it happen. But 2 Shedinjas. Here we go. Vessel of Life. You can discard all cards attached to this Pokemon attached to one of your Pokemon as a tool card. When the Pokemon this card attached to is knocked out, your opponent takes 1 fewer prize cards. We definitely want this guy out the picture as well. In fact, I'm going to look him up because I am just highly curious as to what he does. So I'm going to bring him up on my little side screen over here. Slowking card. That's what I do. Yeah, when I want to know what a card does, sometimes I just go into Google and I type in, Slowking card. Right, type in something card. All right, Memory Melt. Look at your opponent's hand and put a card you find there into the Lost Zone. I knew this card was trolly. Yes, we need to be aware of that. And, oh, my opponent's a genius. Okay, so they put the Shedinja on the Slowpoke so that I would not be able to take a prize card there. They actually can do it. Like, it's possible for them to do this, I guess, if they keep nailing the right cards here. Oh, I think they're just going to force me to take another knockout. There's no other way around it. And I don't have any other way to shuffle cards into my deck. So, let's see here. We definitely want to just find a Guzma for game, but this is the third Guzma, and I think there might not be four. Let's see here. Is there another one in the deck? Want to see. We've got Zapdos. There's one Guzma left in that deck. There's no good way for me to get it. We don't want to do that. I guess I could... Oh, there's a good way for me to get it. I could probably just use Jirachi to try and fish it out, right? Because I need to keep it in my hand so it's safe. That being said, my opponent could go in with this Slowpoke and then Lost Zone it. So, tough situation all around. I think we probably just Guzma. Yeah. Let's see what we get here. I don't know that I want to take it if I find it, though, because they will probably just... There it is, right? I think my opponent will just take it out of my... Yeah, we would want to just grab the Switch. That way I have... We hope that my opponent doesn't like mill it next turn. That's like my hope. And then we have Switch and Escape Rope to try and Jirachi for it twice, which is like pretty good, all right? They're definitely just putting me in this weird spot, bro. Like, these Shedinjas are not cool. 13 cards is probably enough. I'm not going to lie. I have not been playing very conservatively. I've definitely just been trying to ham this guy out. I didn't have a lot of fear of this deck for sure. They're going to Sightseer all these cards away, draw a new hand. I wonder if they will go and Slow King me, though, or if they just try to knock or Mountain Munch my Guzmas away. If they do Mountain Munch my Guzmas away, that's really tough for sure. Pokemon Catcher, that just would be so much better as a... You already know, guys. That would just be so much better as a counter catcher. Rescue Stretcher some cards back to that. I was going to say, they only have 8 cards left in their deck. So their deck is smaller than mine. But I'm assuming they're trying to change that. So with the Mountain Munch here, yes, they did not get a Guzma. So we are cool. We could just switch into Jirachi. Stellar Wish. I actually should have just retreated, technically, into the Jirachi. But it's cool, because I could just retreat again here, and then I can even Escape Rope into my third one if I needed to find that game-winning Guzma. But we got it, and we can just Guzma up the Oranguru, take him out. Okay, GG's. A little bit closer than I would have liked against the Durant Mill deck. And what is it with Durant and always milling cards? Definitely something that Durant is famous for. But we got there. Pablorom 2-0. We got there against Lost March and Durant Mill. Probably sent to the Shadow Realms of the PTCGO ladder because I was trying to test my new card in the deck theory and starting it. It's not real. All right, debunked. Mythbusters debunked it last night. Sean and I were working on it. Now, I thought that it might have been real because, like, I like, the first couple I tried, it happened. We were like, no way. And then... and then the more that I tested it in a controlled environment, I couldn't actually replicate it. So, debunked, unless anybody else has any other theories. I think that it's probably just a case of you just, like, remembering certain things or me remembering certain things a certain way and not actually happening. So that's why it's important to use the scientific method and test your theories. Anyways, here we go. This is Pablo's top 4 list from the Collinsville Regional Championships. Definitely a dope deck. Really good. Try it out on your own. I'll drop the list in the description below. Thank you all so much for watching the video. Make sure to like the video, sub to the channel, ring that bell. Check out FullGripGames.com in the description below too for all your TCG singles and card game needs. Also, make sure to check out my streams. I'm going to be streaming the Wednesday night shop tournament here at Full Grip Games tonight. It's Wednesday, today. Okay, so make sure to check that out, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on twitch.tv/TrickyJim. Y'all rock. Have a great day. Peace.